Yo, what's good, everyone? I just want to come on here and document how I started my brand. I explained this story a couple of times, but I just want to explain it again. I know I got some new subscribers here watching. I just want to explain my process on how I started this. So I started this back in 2021 at 16 years old. I had about $800 to my name. How did I have $800? I've always been an entrepreneur. I used to sell shoes. I used to sell Supreme. I used to resell stuff. I used to resell vintage tees. I used to sell anything I get my hands on. And then me and my boy Jack was sitting in a parking lot one day and was like, man, how dope it would be to have our own brand. And I low-key already thought about having my own brand one day. I just didn't know it was going to happen that soon. And I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. So we actually decided that day to go to Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and we actually ended up buying a Cricut and a heat press. He bought the Cricut machine, I bought the heat press. And then we shortly discovered that once we went back to his basement in his house, that you actually need a lot of other stuff like vinyl. So we had to go back and buy the vinyl. So I was like, okay, we gotta get some vinyl. I picked out this white glitter vinyl. I thought it was pretty dope. And I bought it and I brought it back to his basement. As I brought it back to his basement, I realized that, okay, well, I have to make a design. And at the time, I didn't have a computer. I didn't have a school computer at all. I only had my phone. I didn't have a computer. I only had a school computer. And at the time, a lot of stuff on that computer was blocked. So I just ended up using my phone to create my very first design off this app called Bazart. And that once I did that, I was like, okay, this is pretty fire. Just found a font off of defont.com, put Lost Hearts in there, found a completely free font. I was like, okay, this is pretty fire. Put that into Bazart, downloaded it without a background, uploaded it to the Cricut machine. Then the Cricut machine started to cut out my design, and that was so cool to me because I never seen anything like that before. And then I put it on an old black hoodie. Once I put it on this old black Nike hoodie, I was like, man, okay, how do I do this? And I had to weed the vinyl. That was such a long process. I didn't know how to really do that. And then I also had to heat press it on. And that was an interesting experience. Burnt a lot of hoodies. And once I got the perfect hoodie, I actually took some photos of it in the parking lot, in the Hobby Lobby parking lot. We had to go back to Hobby Lobby because I needed more vinyl. When I realized it took 3 rolls of vinyl to make a couple hoodies, I was like, all right, well, I need some more. So then I just flicked up in the parking lot. And this was a very pivotal time because when I flicked up in that parking lot, I just posted those pictures on IG. I had a couple people just comment like, yo, that shit fire. And I was like, well, looks like I'm starting this brand. And bro, ever since then, I just haven't looked back. And from that moment, I invested the rest of my money and bought 20 hoodies. First order was about 20 to 21 hoodies. And then after that, it was 50 hoodies. And then I ordered those from overseas. And those actually came in at the wrong sizing. Because it was my first time ordering from, overseas. And I didn't realize that, their sizing is a lot different than the United States sizing. So I actually had a whole bunch of tight-fitting hoodies. I still sold them, but that definitely was a learning experience in my business. And man, it's been such a blessing because I really remember when I couldn't sell any hoodies. I remember when I had that second re-up, and bro, I just had products sitting because no one was buying it. The support wasn't like the first time. The first time I dropped them 20 hoodies, bro, it sold out within the first week. But then when I re-up, bro, it didn't happen like that. So I was just like, man, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What's gonna happen, bro? I got this product, no one's buying it. It's small fitting, it's tight fitting. I got all these smalls. Who even wears small hoodies? It's tiny. Then this one thing happened that changed my life forever, man. I'm sitting in the basement. My dad comes down, and he's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Man, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna sell these hoodies." He said, "What size are they?" I said, "Small." He said, "Why can't you sell them?" I was like, "I don't know no one who wear no small." He was like, "Just sell to small people." I was like, duh. He's like, bro, if you don't open your mouth, no one's gonna buy this stuff. And that was just a life-changing moment because I realized, if I don't open my mouth and sell this brand, no one's gonna buy it. And it wasn't like the next day I started selling it, but I would say like a couple days after that, I started selling and opened up my mouth, and shortly after it started selling. And once I sold out all the rest of those small hoodies, I was like, oh yeah, this is go time, bro. But then I also was playing football. This was like my junior, senior year. We were getting smoked, so you know it wasn't fun. My head was messed up because like we kept losing games. So I was like, you know what? Then my senior year came around. I started, great experience playing defensive end. And I know why I was playing defensive end, because that's such a hard position to play. And I wasn't a big guy at the time. I was only about 195 pounds, 180 pounds, my bad. I was still jacked, but I wasn't. That's like, you got to be really big to play that position. And I'm thankful I played that position, because it taught me a lot about life. When you get knocked down, you got to keep going up, and you're going to be facing people who are 10 times bigger than you, 10 times stronger than you, but you still got to give all of your effort, and that is life, man. You got to go hard no matter what. So I'm glad I played that position. And my senior night, I actually got hurt, and I made the decision that night, that I was going to really lock in on that brand. That was my senior year. And bro, ever since then, from those 50 hoodies, I went from 50 hoodies to about 300 t-shirts. Then those 300 t-shirts, I sold all of those out within like a long time. It took me pretty much the whole summer to sell them out. And then after high school, I moved to Memphis, Tennessee. That was in 2022. And I came to Memphis, Tennessee with 500 t-shirts, man. So after I sold those 300 shirts all summer and all my senior year, I moved to Memphis, Tennessee, and I got 500 t-shirts, and I had to figure out how to sell these 500 t-shirts. Now, at the time, I was starting to get lit back home. So people were literally starting to know my brand. Like, people would be like, yo, you're the Lost Hearts guy. Like, people knowing about it. Like, I'm getting pretty lit, and then I had to start all over again in Memphis, bro. So I'm like, damn, bro, I already got kind of lit in my city. Like, I got to start all over. I was like, man, if I did it once, I could do it again. So I literally just started doing the same things that I did in my hometown in Memphis. And man, just slowly but surely, I got a job, quit those jobs eventually, and just started working on my brand full time. I invested my last dollar into a brand accelerator with Activate Your Vision. I was making about $20,000 in the past 2 years, and then I joined the brand accelerator with World and Vision, Activate Your Vision, and they helped me scale to my first 11,000 in 30 days. And I was like, let me just commit for a whole year and just let's see what happened. And that same year, we were able to do hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. And that really changed my life, because it showed me that it's possible once you pay for speed when someone already knows what you want to do, because they already made all the mistakes. So I pretty much bought all their mistakes and bought all of their expertise and their experience to help me get to where I wanted to be a lot quicker. It took them 10, 11 years to become a multi-million-dollar brand. All right, and we were able to do numbers within the first 2 years. All right, so that's really just my story, man, how I started this. I'm very thankful, for everything that's been going on. Right now, I'm currently at my store, super thankful for this. Been here for about over 2 years now, about 28 months. I just signed another 24-month lease, so I'm very excited for that. This store has been a blessing. I will never leave, because this mall is always going to be busy. There's always people coming to the mall. There's really not much to do in Memphis, so therefore, just by me staying stationed here, it's always going to be successful. I just got to continue to do what I need to do, continue to have product, continue to hire people, continue to put people in position, and I'm going to be good. And most importantly, I just got to keep God first, and He is going to lead me in the right direction, man. So like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend. We got a vlog coming soon. I appreciate y'all for watching. If you want to learn how to grow your brand, you could get 3 days free. I've been working with Activate Your Vision. They're going to extend 3 days free of our university, where you get live coaching calls, you get course sessions on how to build your business. We're going to give you 3 free days for absolutely free. Then after that, it's only $97 per month. If that's something that you're interested in, go ahead, hit the link in the bio, hit the link in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video.